Yo, how's it going, everyone? Today, it is time to discuss, for what feels like a weekly basis these days, the Championship top six. It is always entertaining, but this season, yeah, we've got a lot to talk about. It isn't just going to be me going on about how massive Forest are. I'm going to talk about all these sides, because even down to ninth, they could still possibly get the playoffs, you know. I mean, 4 of those teams have already got it. But 5th, 6th, they're not taken just yet. 7th, 8th, and 9th can still do it. So we have got stuff to talk about. And 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, obviously, they could finish anywhere, you know. And there's only a few games left to go. So if you do enjoy this high quality footballing analysis and debates only on the Rads YouTube channel, then hit the like button. Subscribe to Rads if you are new, because that'll be, you know, very, very useful. I asked you actually against Peterborough to subscribe because I found out a lot of people weren't actually subscribed, and you did subscribe, so I appreciate that. So if that is the case with you still, then please change it. Hit the like button, subscribe to us if you're new, and yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about the top 6 because there's plenty to talk about. Right, so first place is obviously going to be Fulham. Why would I not put them there? 99 goals for the season. Mitrovic, player of the year, 41 goals in the Championship, and in fact, he's the top scorer in the top 4 divisions of English football, which is ridiculous. Only he could not get past the Great Wall of Nottingham, could he? I don't really need to say much more. Like, they're gonna come first, aren't they? This is where it gets interesting. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, any of them could still get the top 2. And honestly, Bournemouth have been there pretty much all season. It will be a monumental bottle job from them. And honestly, I don't even think they deserve to get it. Because whenever I've seen Bournemouth play, and this might annoy Bournemouth fans, they haven't even looked that convincing. Like, they've had some really poor results. Obviously, they've had more than poor because they've won 22 games, but they've had a few poor matches as well. And really, based on the squad, that shouldn't have been the case. Bournemouth have to play Blackburn, Forest, huge, gigantic game. That could be an absolute classic. And then Millwall. Blackburn and Millwall can still get the playoffs. So they're both going to be up for it. Now, granted, Millwall, you know, that could be a dead rubber by the end of it because Millwall might not be able to do it by then. But, you know, there's still going to be a tough game. So it's not like they're playing small teams like Derby and bigger teams, but not so good ultimately, like Peterborough and, you know, Bristol, that kind of thing. The fight back against Swansea was obviously huge for their confidence and could even be vital, that final point that decides whether they get the top 2 or not. But ultimately, if they're going to struggle against a Swansea side that overall have had a disappointing season, the running they've got is harder than Swansea. Now, of course, Forest, Swansea at home, Bournemouth, like we've already said, and Hull. As for Huddersfield Town, we've got only 2 games left for them. Coventry and Bristol. Now, this is what we've got to consider. Bournemouth have a tough run in. Forest have a mixed run in. I say run in, it's 2-3 games maximum, but you get the idea. So Huddersfield have the easiest run-in of the 3 of us that could try and get that 2nd place with only a few games left to go. I'd arguably say that Bournemouth have the hardest of the 3. We have we're in the middle, and Huddersfield, you know, Coventry and Bristol, particularly Bristol, are very much on the beach. As for Luton, Huddersfield Town, I didn't mean to say that. That slipped out. I didn't mean to say that. Fulham. Again, they could quite easily lose, to be quite honest. And then Reading, they probably should be winning that. This is obviously more of a debate of the playoffs, not the top 2, because Luton, they can't get the top 2 anymore. Not that they ever were really going to do it, to be quite honest. But Luton in 5th, I did criticise them just then, but ultimately they've had a fantastic season. Nathan Jones winning Manager of the Year. Even though I think Cooper should have got it, you know, he still has done a very good job. You know, where credit's due, Luton have had a good season. As for Sheffield United, they've got to play QPR again. They literally only played them about a month ago, won 1-0. Obviously, QPR struggling towards the end of the season, so they probably should be winning that. And then Fulham. So, yeah, that's actually interesting, isn't it? They should really be beating QPR, but then Fulham on the last day of the season at home. They don't tend to lose at home, though, apart from that Reading result, actually. I think Sheffield United and Forest have both done really, really well to get into this situation, because you remember both of us had a really poor start to the season. Sheffield not quite as bad as us, but they had a poor start. So the fact that they got themselves into a playoff contention is fantastic from their point of view. So, you know, it's also interesting, isn't it, that Luton and Sheffield both have to play for them. So that, you know, that could actually play quite a big part in who gets it and who doesn't. And they both have to play a team, particularly Reading, that they probably should be winning. And this is where it gets interesting. These three teams are still have a chance. Blackburn have spent a lot of the season in the top 6, but the last few weeks they've not been in it. They've been too inconsistent. I mean, that 4-1 win really came out of nowhere, but that kind of sums Blackburn up. They are the most inconsistent side in the league, or one of, anyway. Losing to Stoke, losing to Peterborough, losing to Bristol, obviously. The 2 of those at home as well. That's not good enough. Drawing to Blackpool, they lost to Reading. They lost to, It's been a really, really tough run of games for Blackburn, but that 4-1 win may have just come at the right time. Blackburn, though, just like Forest, have to play Bournemouth and then Birmingham, so they should really be beating Birmingham. They're actually playing Birmingham on the last day of the season for a second year in a row. Millwall. Can you think of an original chant, please? Thank you. Peterborough and, as we already said, Bournemouth. So a few of these teams actually have to play each other, and the better teams as well. So they have to play Bournemouth away and Peterborough. So really, they should probably be beating Peterborough quite easily. So based off that, they should still be in the running on the last day, you'd think anyway. Drawing to Birmingham was a bit disappointing. A win against Hull, a draw there, a big win there. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. A defeat to Swansea, which was a bit unexpected. So they've been a little bit up and down. A defeat there to Stoke. So they have kind of been stumbling, but ultimately they have been on a pretty good run of form for the last few months now. And as for Borough, a bit like Forest and Bournemouth, they also have to play 3 games, which could really play a big part in where they finish. And it's interesting as well when you look at the opposition. Cardiff on the beach, Stoke on the beach, Preston on the beach. I don't know where this beach is, but I want to go to it. It sounds nice. But still, you look at their overall form, even though they're playing 3 teams on a very sunny, sandy beach somewhere in the world, their form probably doesn't suggest they're going to take the advantage, because a defeat to Huddersfield, a draw with Swansea, a defeat to Hull, that's really disappointing. A defeat to Fulham isn't anything to be too ashamed by, but ultimately, they're just too inconsistent. Based off their form, I don't see them doing it, but based off their running, you probably, the fact they've also got an extra game to play on Millwall and Blackburn and Sheffield and Luton, you probably would say that they could do it, but their form doesn't look that convincing, does it? But maybe it could be a situation like Blackburn, out of nowhere they get a 4-1 win, and that might make them capitalise on that. Anyway, that was the overview of all the teams. My top 6 prediction is obviously Fulham in first. Second place, Nottingham Forest. We do not fear anyone. We went away to first in the league, Fulham, and defended like our lives depended on it. We'd go, honestly, second. And I want to make it also clear, if we don't do it, it isn't a disaster. But if we do it, that is a absolutely mental achievement. And it's one of the best stories in football. It already is. It's already an amazing story. But if we go up by the playoffs, it's unbelievable. If we go up by the top 2, it's somehow even more unbelievable. Because no team that lost the first 6 of the first 7 games has finished any higher than 14th, and we could potentially get second. Absolutely outrageous. And I said before, Fulham, if we beat Fulham, top 2's on. If we don't beat Fulham, it's more likely going to be the playoffs. And Bournemouth dropping points to Swansea has only helped that. Bournemouth, the men that have lost in their last 5, as you can see there, but they haven't exactly been that convincing, in my opinion. They've drawn to quite a few teams this season that they probably should have beaten, like Reading and Peterborough, 2 teams at home as well, by the way, that they should have been beating. They've lost a few too many games for a team of the amount of quality and depth that they have. So I think they're going to bottle it. I really do. And then you got to look at Huddersfield. I think Huddersfield have a huge chance of doing it. I think both of us have a chance. I genuinely could see Bournemouth finishing 4th, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think they'll get 3rd. And honestly, I don't think they're going to win the playoffs. I think Bournemouth have to finish 2nd to be in the Premier League next season, because I don't think they'll win. I don't think they'll win the playoffs if they drop out. I think it will kill their confidence. So I think if Forest gets 2nd, the playoff winner will probably be Huddersfield or maybe Sheffield United, someone like that. I'm not sure. But then again, probably out of those, Bournemouth should really be doing it. But I don't know. It's really tough. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think if Fulham have dropped out, they'd win the playoffs? Because I'm not sure they'll capitalise on it. I'm not sure about that. Luton, I think, will come in 5th place. And to be quite honest, call me boring, but I think Sheffield United will probably get it. However, I think if anyone is going to get it ahead of Sheffield United, I think Millwall. I think Millwall. I know Blackburn, obviously, out of nowhere had that Fulham win, but you never know what's going to happen. They could go and lose 4-0 to Bournemouth this weekend. They're that inconsistent. Millwall have a relatively nice set of games, like Bournemouth, who are beatable, or they could get at least a point from that. And if they beat Peterborough, they could get into the top 6, relying on other results as well. Borough have got a favourable run in, but their form does not suggest they're going to make the most of it. So, yeah, if anyone's going to get it ahead of Sheffield, I have a feeling it might be Millwall, but I don't think that's going to happen. So, the only change I've actually made to that is Forest going ahead of Bournemouth. But yeah, if you have enjoyed this, everyone, please hit the like button, subscribe to Rads if you're new. That is my final top 6 prediction. I've recycled that as much as I possibly can. But please, you recycle it as well. Let me know in the comments below your predictions for the very, very end of the season, because there's still plenty to play for. Obviously, I'll be at Swansea at the weekend, the final home game of the season. That's if we don't make the playoff. Sorry, if we don't get second, there'll be another playoff game. Also, just to let you know, if I do upload this, because I'm not entirely sure if I will or not, but I'm going to be going to a neutral game very soon, and I may do a vlog for it, because I'm not really sure whether I want to, even though this channel's not 100% Forest. I'm not sure whether I want to do a vlog to a neutral game or not, so I might do. The only reason why I'm going is because my mate supports this team. I won't say who it is just yet, but yeah, that's literally the only reason why I'm going. I've not paid to go to this match, but yeah, just a little heads up if you're wondering why I do a neutral vlog in the very near future. But more than anything, there'll be a Forest vlog also in the next few days, so stay tuned for that, and I'll see you very soon, everyone.